She's the adorable little girl whose murder has baffled investigators.
JonBenet's slaying is now one of America's greatest murder mysteries.
Please, if you know anything, I beg you to call us.
It was a crisp winter morning in Boulder, Colorado, the day after Christmas 1996, when a blood-curdling scream shattered the holiday calm. Patsy Ramsey raced down the grand staircase of her family's luxurious home and froze in horror. A chilling 3-page ransom note lay on the steps, demanding exactly $118,000 for the safe return of her 6-year-old daughter, JonBenet. In panic, she called 911, screaming that her little beauty pageant star had been kidnapped. The nation held its breath as friends, family, and police swarmed the house in a frantic search for the missing child. Hours ticked by with no word from the supposed kidnappers. Then, in the dim basement, John Ramsey made the discovery that would haunt America forever. His daughter's lifeless body, wrapped in a favorite white blanket, a makeshift garrote fashioned from a paintbrush handle brutally tightened around her neck. She had been sexually assaulted, her skull shattered by savage blunt force trauma. The official cause of death, asphyxiation from strangulation, combined with that crushing head injury. What should have been a straightforward kidnapping-turned-murder investigation quickly spiraled into one of the most infamous unsolved cases in U.S. history. From the start, the Boulder police botched almost everything. They failed to properly secure the sprawling crime scene, letting friends and family roam freely through the house, trampling potential evidence underfoot. With almost no experience handling homicides, especially ones involving child abduction, sexual assault, and a high-profile family, the local department was overwhelmed, and crucial mistakes piled up fast. This lack of experience, combined with media pressure, made the investigation challenging. From early on, the police seemed to focus on the Ramsey family as prime suspects. However, the Ramseys maintained their innocence and hired high-profile lawyers and private investigators to help clear their names. The media also contributed to the public's judgment, with some outlets demonizing the family while others supported them. The ransom note was one of the most perplexing pieces of evidence. The language seemed forced, with odd phrases and references to a small foreign faction. Analysts found it strange that a kidnapper would write such a lengthy note within the home and use the family's notepad and pen. Handwriting analysis was inconclusive, but it suggested the author could potentially be female. Several pieces of evidence have fueled theories about who killed JonBenet. Some of the key evidence includes DNA evidence. Foreign DNA was found under JonBenet's fingernails and in her underwear. This DNA didn't match any family member and has been one of the most significant arguments against the family's involvement. However, the DNA sample was small and degraded, leaving doubts about its accuracy. Pineapple, undigested pineapple, was found in JonBenet's stomach, which suggested she had eaten it shortly before her death. A bowl of pineapple with Burke Ramsey's fingerprints on it was found in the kitchen, although both parents claimed they remember giving her any. Some believe this was part of an internal family conflict theory. The stun gun marks. Some investigators noted marks on JonBenet's body that they believe could have been made by a stun gun. This theory supports the idea that an intruder entered the house, subdued JonBenet with a stun gun, and committed the murder. The broken window. There was a broken window in the basement with scuff marks nearby, which some argue could have been an entry point for an intruder. John Ramsey claimed he broke the window earlier, explaining the damage, but some still question if it could have been used by an outsider. Handwriting analysis of the ransom note, experts analyzed the note, with some suggesting that Patsy's handwriting bore similarities, though it was never definitively matched to her or anyone else. The note's strange wording also gave rise to speculation that the author was attempting to mimic a movie plot or obscure their true identity. Over the years, various theories have emerged regarding JonBenet's death, and they generally fall into two categories: family involvement and intruder theory. The Patsy Ramsey theory. This theory suggests that Patsy Ramsey, in a fit of rage, accidentally killed JonBenet and then tried to cover it up by staging a kidnapping scene. Proponents point to the handwriting analysis and the strange nature of the ransom note, as well as the fact that Patsy discovered the note and made the 911 call. The Burke-Ramsey theory. Some theorize that JonBenet's brother, Burke, who was 9 at the time, may have accidentally killed her during a sibling conflict. The theory suggests that the parents, seeking to protect their son, staged the scene. However, this theory has been criticized for a lack of motive, as Burke was reportedly not known for violent behavior. In recent years, Burke filed a defamation lawsuit against CBS after a documentary suggested his potential involvement, which was eventually settled out of court.
Did you go to JonBenet's funeral?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember the viewing. I remember the casket was small and her eyes were closed. I think one of her eyes was a little bit like droopy or something, and I thought that was weird.
How did you feel seeing her?
A lot of sadness. I don't think I really fully grasped, like, after this, I won't see her again. I remember my parents being really upset. Like, I remember my dad leaning down and giving her a kiss.
Was it traumatizing to see her?
That was weird. That was traumatizing a little bit.
Sexual predator theory. The foreign DNA evidence has led some to believe that JonBenet was attacked by an intruder, potentially a pedophile, who targeted her. This theory aligns with the idea of the stun gun marks and broken window, as well as the fact that no family members match the DNA profile. The Santa Claus theory. One of the odd theories involves a family friend, Bill McReynolds, who dressed as Santa Claus for Christmas parties at the Ramsey home. He reportedly paid extra attention to JonBenet, even giving her a gift and mentioning a special visit after Christmas. However, he was never considered a serious suspect and was later cleared by DNA evidence. From the beginning, JonBenet's murder became a media spectacle, largely because of her status as a beauty pageant contestant. Footage of the young girl dressed in pageant costumes and performing talent routines played constantly on news channels, creating a fascination and unease. The media coverage was often invasive, with paparazzi camping outside the Ramsey home and bombarding the family with accusations. The Ramseys were heavily criticized for their behavior following JonBenet's death, including their reluctance to participate in interviews with police initially. They instead went on television to plead their innocence, which many saw as a calculated move to influence public opinion. Over time, the constant media coverage and public scrutiny became overwhelming, pushing the family into further isolation. Conclusion was that I killed my daughter.
Experienced people, this was not a hard case to solve. Shouldn't have been a hard case to solve. And that's what should have happened. And it didn't, because they didn't have experienced people on day one. And the conclusion was that I killed my daughter.
Do you have more hope now, this year, than you have had in a long time?
You know, this is something we've been trying to get accomplished almost from day one. Get help from the outside.
Stun gun, to me, would not identify the killer, right? It would help in your defense,
Right.
but it wouldn't identify the killer. We know
Correct.
a stun gun was used, right? The pictures indicate that. When she went to bed that night, those marks were not there. When she was found the next day, those burn marks were there. It's clear as day.
And clearly quite a significant tool in the murderer's
It's a specialized
MO.
weapon.
Yep.
Very unique.
In the years since JonBenet Ramsey's brutal 1996 murder, the case has seen dramatic twists. In 1999, a Boulder grand jury recommended charging her parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, with child abuse resulting in death, but the district attorney refused, saying the evidence was too weak to proceed. DNA advancements brought a major shift in 2008. New testing on key evidence excluded the family, leading the DA to publicly apologize and clear them. Still, many experts slammed the investigation as flawed from the start. Botched crime scene, rushed interviews, and tunnel vision on the parents. Decades later, the story refuses to die. Documentaries, books, podcasts, and true crime deep dives keep pouring out, each offering new angles but no real closure. The case exposes ugly truths. how media frenzy can derail justice, how fragile crime scenes get contaminated, and the devastating toll on a grieving family already shattered by loss. Theories still rage: intruder, family accident, cover-up, or something darker. But the killer remains unidentified. Honestly, after all these years, the official cleared narrative feels too tidy for such a messy, violent crime scene. The DNA exoneration is compelling, but it doesn't explain everything. What do you think? Were the Ramseys truly innocent? Or is there still something the public hasn't seen? Drop your theory below. Intruder, family, or wild card? Let's discuss. Your take might be the perspective that finally cracks this haunting mystery wide open.